Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We are today continuing our focus, looking ahead of the general elections. Well, Senator Ayo Arise joins us now. He's the former chairman, Senate Committee on Privatisation, a member of the PDP. Thank you for coming this morning, Senator.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, we'll start off with what making the front pages still. The president keeps speaking about this call for interim government, saying people should perish the thought. But why does it look as though it doesn't seem to be flying with people? The Senate president has spoken up about it. Former head of state, Abdulsalam Abubakar, has spoken up about it. Perish the thought, it's not happening. But this call keeps coming up just ahead of the elections. Why do you think that is?
Well, I guess we're in the season of rumors, and it's important that you take every rumor that is making the round and is becoming an everyday affair very seriously. But it's very clear there is no room for interim governments in a democracy. We don't have such. The Constitution doesn't allow it. That would tantamount to maybe saying the military should take over. And that's certainly, according to Mr. President, that's reasonable. We all know that. For us, we've been through that road, and there's still much of the impatience of our people. A process is a process. Democracy is a process. We are growing. And there would always be elections. And of course, this frenzy is not new. During the second term of Baba, I mean, it was as if he was never going to win, you know. It's in every election, the atmosphere is always discharged. It's just at this point in time, it's a little bit different from what, the stakes are a little bit higher than what we used to expect. And that is because the president has made it possible for people to now believe and to understand that their votes will count in every election. That is one of his greatest achievements. And if you know that your votes will count, then it is likely that people will begin to feel like, okay, hey, let me go there, let me vote. And of course, being an incumbent, he is the one that needs to continue to advertise his achievements in office. And the people around him should do more of that.
There's this perception out there that with respect to the use of the PVCs and card readers,
yes,
they think that, oh yeah, let's go ahead and do it. But at the point, your party had objections about the permanent voter cards. Has that fizzled out now?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that the party is opposed to the use of PVCs. What are they asking for? 100 registers?
First they talked about distribution. They needed time. INEC needed time to distribute. They said INEC wasn't ready at that time. And then the card readers, they had not been used before. I think there were reports credited to Senator Honorable Leo Oga, who did say, look, we've not used these card readers before. What's the guarantee that when we use them this time, it will work? But others think, let's go ahead and use them. It will work.
I just want to say that it's not everyone that speaks up that is saying what the president is thinking or what the party is saying. For example, I'm here. I'm not here because the party wants me to be here. I'm here because I think I need to speak and address the issues on the ground the best way I understand them. Now, when you look at the PVC, we've been voting with PVC. We voted with PVC in the last election in Ekiti. And of course...
PVC or CVC?
No, it's the PVC. We voted with the PVC in Ekiti's election. And I don't think anybody wants us to take one step forward and two backwards. I don't think there's anybody thinking that he wants us to start using anything other than the PVCs. But the apprehension was due to the fact that as of the 4th of February, we only had about 65% nationally of distribution of the PVC cards. And that is enough reason for worry. We are not talking of the number of voters in an election. We are talking of those who have the legitimate instrument to cast their votes. And I think the minimum that INEC owes this country is to ensure that we achieve something decent. If we're looking at about 75%, of course, those of us who school in America, it's 90% that's A. If you are getting 80-something%, it's a B, and 70 is a failure. So for us, we would like to see a situation where...
Did you school in Nigeria at all?
I did.
What were the grades? Because that's America. What were the grades in Nigeria?
I did, but at least the grades were different here. The measure of grades, you know, the C's here were like 50s, you know, so, and the A's were like 70. So it's different. But if you look at what you think is proper, we should achieve anything from 80 to 90% to feel comfortable that we have done a good job for the people. I mean, there's no point in having millions of people unable to vote, and now you say you have to go to an election. I think those opposing that extension did not really think through the whole process. If Lagos had just about 42% at that point in time of distribution, then that is a dismal failure. You cannot go to an election and say it's only 40-something% of your people that you have empowered to be able to vote. They still will have to reserve that right to go there and perform their civic responsibility after they have the card. They will not say, oh, it's because I never got my card. So it is clear now that INEC was not ready. If within that period we have jumped from 65.8% to about 75.something% as of Friday, it shows that something certainly wasn't right. And it has actually, in a way, given more credibility to the position of INEC. Even though INEC is saying it's because of security, I'm sure if you listen to the interview of Jega at the Senate, he kind of admitted that this would give him time to do better preparation. The readers are yet, to the best of my knowledge, to be distributed to the respective states, and they were not tested.
As at when?
As at the time that the election was actually postponed, because he now has time to do all that. He has time to do training, to train the people who use the machines. He has time to sensitize the public more, to do a lot of public awareness. So for us, that is a saving grace for INEC. I was a victim of emergency postponement, and that happened after we had voted for a few hours. They just called that they didn't have the Form C08 or whatever.
When was this?
This was in 2011. And he just called that all the elections had been stopped, cancelled, midway into the voting.
The thing now is, INEC, I think that the conversation has moved beyond that.
Yes.
In a sense that the postponement has happened.
It has happened.
So whether or not we like it, we are where we are. We
Exactly.
cannot reverse or turn back the hands of time to say there was no postponement.
Yeah.
The reason why the postponement happened will continue to be a subject of controversy depending on which side of the divide you belong to, because it would seem that those from the PDP prefer to say that INEC was not ready for these elections, and so these elections, whether it was shifted for security, favors INEC a great deal, something that a lot of people might not argue with. But we are where we are right now. We have 75% distribution.
Yes.
And we're still distributing, as it were. People are still clamoring for their PVCs, and March 8 has been set as the new deadline for the collection of PVCs. Are you comfortable? Do you think that INEC will be able to deliver credible elections, or do you still nurse any fears ahead of the new dates that we have?
Well, as far as the new dates are concerned, I have no issues. I mean, I think it's given them enough time to justify the responsibility bestowed on them by Nigerians. So for me, I think we are ready. I believe the party was even ready. It doesn't matter. In any election, somebody will have to win. The frenzy, the propaganda.
You just brought in something.
Yes.
Now. You say you believe that your party was ready too.
Oh, yes.
It's something that people also, wonder if truly your party was ready.
Oh, yes, the party was
this
ready.
is giving your party more room to also, consolidate.
Oh, just like it's giving the other opposition more room to do some additional work. But you see, at no point...
What work are they doing?
Oh, they're campaigning, you know. I mean, Buhari is in London now, trying to secure international attention. So it's still part of it. He could not have done that if the election held on the 14th. So all these are some of the things coming in that every party is taking advantage of the time to do additional work. For us, I mean, I wasn't here before. Now I'm here, I'm talking. And for me, I want to say that as a PDP man, I believe the president has earned a second term.
Who do you think this favors more? Just a moment. Who do you think this favors? Because here we are, in the last couple of weeks, we've been saying, oh, the army has taken this territory. The army has taken that territory. And it would seem that there is some progress being made in the Northeast, as it were.
Sure.
Oh, arms are being delivered now. We saw the Air Force take delivery of equipment. We saw the Navy too take delivery of equipment.
Yes.
We're also saying the army has also been taking delivery of equipment and has been, you know, consolidating on.
Yes, and the president just opened an IPP, the Olon Sugar plant, the power thing.
Who do you think this favors more?
Well, in a way, as far as I'm concerned, anytime you look at an election that is this tight and competitive, the pressure is always on the incumbent. It's not peculiar to Nigeria. But when you look at it at the end of the day, the achievements will speak volumes. Now, the president or the security people said they needed additional 6 weeks. So now it's getting clearer that maybe they were just getting delivery of the equipment to fight these people, and they were training their people, and it just happened that they needed additional time for them to bombard the Boko Haram strongholds. And they have been doing that. So if it now happens that it now favors the PDP more, because if this were part of the complaints and it's being resolved, you see, for me, I look at it, the president has an opportunity. He's listening to Nigerians. And if there are areas of challenges that he didn't look at before, he has an opportunity to correct most of these things.
So would you say then,
4 years?